What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at Richard Humphreys. But before I get into Richard Humphreys, we have to acknowledge James Figs. He was born 1695 and he died December 7th, 1734. Now, he was champion from 1719 to 1730. And he brought into the art of game swordsman, which was basically fencing. And it was at that point in time he developed the trait of keeping both arms up pretty high, rotating them from side to side, but he didn't have much art movement. And like I said, he was champion from 1719 to 1730. And he had a little less than 300 fights, and he was credited for basically being undefeated. But the thing about James Figs, they didn't have any rules. You can bite a man, rip, tear, body slam. You can basically grab the groin. You can basically kill a man. As a matter of fact, he did. George Taylor. And it was at that point when they decided some organization had to be involved in boxing. So they came up with some rules. When a man is down, he had up to 30 seconds at that point to get up and respond. If he didn't, he was considered knocked out. Today's boxing is different. You have up to 10 seconds and you're out. So there were some slowly developed changes in James Figs' time. But too many men were being killed. Too many men were being injured for life. They were losing their eyesights. And they were basically being choked out. And they were never the same when they walked into the ring. So after James Figs had retired, he opened up a school of boxing. And after James Figs, you had other fighters that would come into play. Jack Burrow, Jack Slack, Yankee Sullivan, Tom Johnson, Tom Jackson, Daniel Mendoza, Tom Cribb, Tom Molyneux, Bill Richmond. Plenty of fighters that came and went. Tom Molyneux was one of the best ones. I'll be doing a profile on him at some point. But right now we're into Richmond Humphreys, nicknamed Richard. And he would be known for having great fights with Daniel Mendoza. Now, the first recorded fight of Daniel Mendoza and Richard Humphreys was May 3rd, 1786. And I gotta tell you, he fought two men at that time, Sam Martin and Daniel Mendoza. September 9th, 1787, he would face Daniel Mendoza in Epping, and he would defeat him. January 9th, 1788, he would fight Daniel Mendoza. In Overham, he would defeat him 28 minutes. May 6th, 1789, he would face Daniel Mendoza again, and he would lose to him in 52 minutes. He would face Daniel Mendoza, 1790, in Dorchester, and he would lose to him in 15 minutes. April 15th, 1795, Daniel Mendoza would lose to a fighter by the name of Tom Jackson. And eventually Daniel Mendoza would die October 7th, 1845. But Richard Humphreys and Daniel Mendoza were legendary matches. Now, Daniel Mendoza was born July 5th, 1764 in Applegate, London. He was a Spanish-English Jew, and he was the first Jewish champion of the world. He was also credited for being the 16th heavyweight champion of England. And he was credited for being the first fighter to develop the scientific approach of boxing. He would move his feet. He would move his arms around. He didn't quite establish a jab, but he did have a little bit more defense than other fighters at that time. You still have boxing where you can grab a man and you could basically wrestle him and choke him out and kick him and everything else. But Daniel Mendoza chose to stay on his feet. He was developing a scientific approach to boxing. And he would face fighters such as Tom Wilson, John Horn, Harry Davis, Bill Moore, John Taylor. He would die in London September 3rd, 1836. Richard Humphreys, very, very good fighter. I just wanted to salute Richard Humphreys. They called him the gentleman of boxing. This is before Gentleman Jim Corbett, of course. Joining me on my next approach to bare knuckle boxing when I get into some more boxing with bare-fisted approach. This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Thanks for hanging in there with me and recognizing the bare-fisted fighters of the past. Now this picture you're looking at is in my bare-fisted or bare-knuckle fighting scrapbook. It's an original picture of Richard Humphreys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Salute to my subscribers. Salute to the bare knuckle fighters.